cost of correction. When I was probably around 17, me and a brother of mine, you know what I'm saying, somebody stole his car. You know what I mean? And, you know, we young and dumb, homie. We thinking we gonna find out who stole the car, and we get up, load up, go looking for people. You know what I'm saying? About 3 days later, you know, every night we going out looking for people. So we get back on the third day, and we see the dude. We see the cat with the car. And my boy stopped, you know what I mean, and said, I'm gonna let it go. And I'm sitting there like, you know, what's going on, man? What, you know, like I said, I'm stupid. This ain't no reason. Let the car go and we can get another. But, you know, he stopped and said, hey, man, you know what? I did so much bad shit in my life, man. It's about time they catch me up. Somebody catch me up with one or two. And, you know what I'm saying? And for most of you cats, this is a karma thing, right? He's saying that he put so much bad out that bad bound to come back to him. I thought it was, you know, whatever, homie. We've been out here, you wasting my damn time. Get the car back, homie. We didn't have to go kill nobody or nothing. We could have caught them slipping and took it right back. You know what I'm saying? But in other words, you know, for the sake of this podcast, it was the cost of correction. You know, when somebody's on drugs and they go into a detox, you know what I'm saying? They got to go through a rough time to correct themselves, to get right. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got to go through it. And, you know, during that time, you know what I'm saying, people get a little bit crazy, you know, a little bit antsy. It's tough on people, you know what I'm saying, to correct yourself, and really not even you doing it, but just, you know, the world putting you back in balance. So for this podcast, you know, I always thought about, you know, what always happens to me, and, you know what I'm saying, when I get off course, and, you know, the price that I have to pay for each time I get off course, because I ain't perfect. You know what I'm saying? I sometimes got anger issues. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, I want to beat the hell out of a motherfucker, man. I mean, sometimes I feel like throwing motherfuckers across the room. I mean, that's just in me. You dig what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But I know how to control myself and discipline myself from not causing myself any harm. But the cost of correction for a lot of us is just dealing with what is in front of us. You know, I was talking to one young cat, and he was like, you know, what do you think is a secret? You know what I'm saying? And I said, you know, to accept things for what they are. I said, that's the hardest thing for a motherfucker to understand. I'm not saying that I'm not trying to make it better. I'm just saying today might not be a day that I can make things better. Today might be a day that I got to sit here and deal with it. Today might be a day in which I got to, you know, do what I got to do and survive. Today, you know, a new opportunity isn't on the horizon. Today is a day of grinding. Today is a day of nothing, you know, being accomplished, but that I woke up this morning and went to sleep at night. You know what I'm saying? There's a cost to correcting yourself. There's a cost for the way I used to live and the way I live now. You know what I'm saying? They're polar opposites on the way I used to approach the game and now how I approach the game now. You know what I'm saying? But there's a cost for dealing with it this way. There's a cost for not being out here trying to buy $1 million homes. There's a cost for me not living in certain areas and dealing. There's a cost all the way around for me. You know what I'm saying? But it's the correct way for me to proceed in life. It's the correct way for me to get where I need to get. Ultimately, you know, like I tell you, you know, ultimately you want to have money and peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to accomplish that. I've been able to accomplish that, but it's not the easy road all the time. So the cost of correcting yourself for most of you cats is just really what I try to do on a Rise and Grind is give you a heads up as to what's coming, how to proceed. It's not one of those things where you're not going to, you know, you live your life without any regrets. It's not one of those kind of things. You know, a lot of this stuff can be avoided. It takes a mature mind. It takes someone stopping and assessing the situation. You know what I mean? If, you know, I'll give you another example. If you ever been on a freeway and it's all crowded, and most of the time, if everybody would just fall back a bit and maybe get like 40 miles per hour, the freeway would move very easily. But since cats can't really correct themselves and understand that, you know what I'm saying, they have to work together, that they need to, you know, fall back, turn on the gas station like I do when I'm on a 405, homie. You know what I'm saying? Turn on the gas station and mellow out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That if we all fall back to 40, homie, we will all get home a lot faster. But since a lot of people don't have peace in themselves, they don't want that. They're looking for a way to dart in. You ever seen a motherfucker when it's all crowded and everybody trying to dart from lane to lane? Some of you cats are, you know, happily going nowhere and shit, stepping on the gas, going nowhere. But a lot of cats are just not at peace with themselves. And that's the price of correction, homie. You have a tumultuous life. You have a harder day. You haven't stopped and seen the big picture as to why we're here and why we're dealing with this shit and what the game is really about. And we all pay for it. We all pay for it in the long run, that we don't know how to calm the hell down. And just like I said, accept the game for what it is. When I was coming up, right, and I was going through my tougher times when I was trying to get everything established, there were plenty of days. I mean, I told you, you heard these stories. I don't want to go through ghost stories all my life. Mice and rats and all kind of shit. And I'm living in bad neighborhoods with cats who wouldn't want to live. And I'm sleeping on the floor and all kind of shit. And I'm on the, trying to make money as much as I possibly can. And shit is looking rough. The only thing that calmed me down was that I really knew I was going to make it. You dig what I'm saying? And I had to, this is the way that God gave me to approach the game. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't be a rich kid. I couldn't have a uncle. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have all this shit. I had to approach a game in which it was laid out. And I felt that I needed to correct myself. I needed to discipline myself. I needed to understand that this time has a reason. And that reason is for me to blow up. But I can't have the stories that everybody else had on the way up. You know what I'm saying? I got the story that most cats just, sit back and feel sorry for me. You know what I'm saying? Even though I was having the time of my life, man. You know what I'm saying? Getting up and fighting your way out of a hole, man, is the best time of your life. You might not like it, but all senses are firing. You know what I'm saying? My eyes, my nose, my ears, you know what I'm saying? My third eye, my brain, I'm able to accept the game, discerning everything that's going on. I was alive, you know what I'm saying? And, but it was a cost. You know what I'm saying? To correctly approach this game, to get to that next level, was a lot of me disciplining myself. And like I said, the basis of this whole podcast is you learning that there is a cost. You trying to make it, you trying to blow up, will have tough times. This isn't guaranteed. You know what I mean? I was chopping it up with this woman the other night, and she was like, Freeman, you always think that, everybody can go into business, and you know what I'm saying? I think there's nothing wrong with working, and I said, no, there's nothing wrong with working for yourself. There's something wrong with always working for someone else. I said, well, you always think that, I think it's a balance. And I said, I don't think it's a balance. I said, you've been listening to people with their Puritan ass ways and their old blue law religion that you're used to, and you don't know where all this dumb shit comes from that makes you think it's righteous and smart to always work and to put in a good day's work and all this shit that you see on TV with Heartland of America with no black people, just a whole bunch of white farmers and shit making bread. You dig what I'm saying? And I said, all these things, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to pay the cost of what it's going to take. So you want to say it's nothing wrong with what I do. Deep down, it's something wrong with what you do because you ain't going to make no money. So you're scared of trying to go out and do something for yourself. So you say, well, what I'm doing is good enough. There's a cost. There's a cost for us getting up trying to get this business right. There's a cost for us dealing with our family who may not know. There's a cost for, alienating your friends and not having no friends. I don't have that many friends. I mean, I'm lucky to be rolling with the same cats that was down with me for a long time. I mean, I was just lucky, but they knew what I was about, so I didn't change my lane. I'm still the same cat, but you know what I'm saying? I don't add too many new friends into my life, man. You know what I'm saying? This is a solo man's journey. You know what I'm saying? This is the way the game is. And some go for the bitches, some go for the riches. You know what I'm saying? I go for the riches. Since this is a harder road and cats don't want to roll with you, you know what I'm saying, during the hard times, you know what I'm saying, then I guess it is what it is. But there's a cost. You know what I'm saying? I'm going through all these different costs that I personally went through in my life that I'm sharing with you all throughout the rise and grind. You know what I'm saying? So you can prepare for them, homie. It ain't no real way around it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no real way around it when everybody think you a fool. It ain't no real way around it when you look around and say, shit, I could have just stayed on a plantation like everybody else and I could have moved up by now. You know what I'm saying? There's a cost to correcting yourself and correcting your angle to the chips. There's a cost to correcting yourself and weeding the poisons and all the shit out your body. Let me tell you something, man. All the time I'm always talking about not drinking and all this shit. And you hear it on the thing. And it took me a while. You know what I mean? It took me years to go away from having a drink every time I went out. Not because I'm an alcoholic, but because, I just sometimes you think you deserve the shit or you want to take a load off. You know what I'm saying? Fuck your job. You know what I mean? But I had to learn to correct myself and say what's causing me to need this is because I'm at this fuck ass job. was causing me to be so stressed is because of this. So what do I have to do in order to alleviate all the stress? I have to start thinking about how I'm going to do something for myself. And this is a harder road, but it's a more rewarding road. You dig what I'm saying? There's nothing more in your life than since you've been riding the bike, homie, that has rewarded you so much to trying to go after and establish something of your own, to be your own man and do for self and engage with people and know that you didn't need a college education in order to make chips. You know what I'm saying? Know that it wasn't God or luck or any other shit that people are saying that got you here, but your hard work, your hustle, you manifested this shit. You blew it up. You the one who was out here struggling, hustling. You know, I look at World Star Hip Hop all the time. And I always think about the dude who started it. I just think, you know, it's probably just an idea in his head, and homie, and it just blew the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? And chips are coming, and you know what I'm saying? And dude doing more, and he parlaying the hustle out a little bit more and more. I pay attention, you know what I'm saying, to what's going on the website. And, you know, I got nothing but love for homie, because, you know what I'm saying, we seeing a true hustler, a true thinking, a man in action every day. You watching videos. I'm thinking about the structure of the hustle and how he did it, and, you know what I'm saying, and gotta give props to the dude for putting himself out there. But there's a cost that he had to pay for doing that, I guarantee you. And if the cat shared his story, like I tell you, in this game, man, not too many people want to tell you the bad. They want to tell you the good. I choose to tell you the bad because that's what we share, homie. That's what you and I share on the way to getting here. You know what I'm saying? Getting up from the bottom, getting up from whatever you're dealing with. Most of these cats ain't gonna share the bottom. They gonna share the top. They're not gonna share where motherfuckers calling them a fool, or girls didn't want to talk to them, or shit and all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all waiting for a rap video to tell you that. But there's plenty of cats. We all go through this shit. But there's a cost to correcting yourself. You learn not to do things to fuck up your hustle. That was the first thing I learned. To don't let my fucked up way of seeing the game, of seeing life, come into this chip game. You know what I'm saying? I deal with white folks and everybody all the time, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't hear me going buck wild on motherfuckers, man. I get the transaction done and go home. You know what I'm saying? And most cats are, oh, Freeman, you know, I know you become, nah, man, look. I came out here to get, you know what I'm saying, Mongolian beef, homie. If the dude's Mongolian and he give me the beef, we good. You know what I'm saying? I didn't come out here to chop it up and build with him. You know what I mean? But I don't got no love for, not for the Mongolian dude, but you know, it ain't no love there for me between me and these cats either. The cost of correcting yourself is humongous, homie. And a lot of people take it on. See, that's why I always, you probably heard me say this a long time ago in a lot of my podcasts, where I always say, you know, this chip game is like dudes who lift weights. Dudes who out there really getting in shape. This chip game is exactly the same discipline. An enormous amount of time. You understand what I mean? Setting incremental goals. Not really seeing any real change. And then one day looking back at your picture saying, damn, you know what I'm saying? I'm really cut up. Damn, I'm really benching 350 on them. Damn, homie, I'm really, you know, I got my time down. Damn, homie, you know what I'm saying? People starting to notice me, pay attention to me. My clothes change. This chip game is the exact same way that you just can't eyeball it. You know what I'm saying? So you got to really correct yourself. And this is a discipline that most cats just don't have. When you see a cat who has a problem and can't fix it, you should feel sorry for him. I do all the time. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just thinking, like, you refuse to correct yourself. You refuse to subject yourself to this shit. The shit that's going to make everything better. You refuse to do it. And as a result of you refusing to do it, hell is what you live through. So when I go back to the lady I was talking to the other night about the job and work, and you know what I'm saying, and how it's all equal, look at the hell you live in. Now you're making up a lie because you don't have no freedom. You know what I'm saying? You don't have the things that any other person who comes out there to start a business. Of course there's going to be people who don't do well in business. That's just the game, homie. Every time you speak to a girl, you ain't the one she want to talk to. That's the game we in. You understand what I'm saying? So it's something that you have to learn about correcting yourself in this game. And it's something that most of these cats will never learn. I mean, you just gotta just accept it. At this moment, man, I'm doing a lot of shit. Losing money. Not losing it in the way you thinking, like it's gone. Losing it meaning I'm putting my chips where the hustle is. So I gotta take a negative in order to go positive. You understand what I mean? I gotta put money into something. I gotta correct it. I gotta, you know, keep tweaking. But when it comes to business, I'm tweaking the shit with chips. I ain't tweaking the shit all the time with, you know what I'm saying, with like adjusting the torque on the engine, you know what I mean, on a spark plug on me. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing this shit in real life with chips going down the drain sometimes. But they all come back because I'm building. But you know what I'm saying? When you build something, homie, if you don't have all the tools you need, it's going to look ugly. You know what I'm saying? Somebody come along and build a brick house, and he only got one brick, and he don't got no mortar. You know, maybe put mud in the middle. You saying that dude got a mud hut. You know what I'm saying? But he built a shelter. But it ain't going to look right. Then you got to learn how to, oh, man, I fucked up. I got to go back and get some mortar. I got to do it. You correct yourself. And then he looked and said, man, I already built a wall. You know, do I leave it up in mud? Or do I go and get some mortar and put that shit in between? Will this shit stay up? Am I scared this shit gonna fall on me one day? You know what I'm saying? Most people just don't do it. That's why they all get caught and go to jail over some dumb shit. Just from being lazy, thinking nobody paying attention to their faulty, sloppy ass ways. Or do you turn around and go back and correct yourself? I got 2 compliments in my life that I always hold on to. One I'll tell you on another podcast, but the one I'll share with you on this one is when I was doing real big and I came down and shifted and changed my goals and kind of came back really to correct myself, to fix the things that did not get fixed. I'm already there now. You know what I'm saying? I fixed everything that should have been fixed in the past. I had one of my buddies come up to me and say, you know, I always admired you for going out there. He said, now I admire you for turning around and fixing the shit, for correcting yourself, for saying one thing, finding out that I was wrong, then turning around and getting rid of that thought process and coming back and doing it a new way. You know what I'm saying? And I told him, I said, shit, man, I get punished for that shit all the time. I get punished for you know what I mean, for having the right mind in the wrong place. You know what I'm saying? I get punished for being around dudes who really think that I want to, you know what I'm saying, we out here to impress and drink and shit, but I'm still with them. But, you know what I'm saying, I used to get shitted on for not drinking when I was coming up, right? I used to always think, you know, that's the devil's brew. So for a long time, homie, I wasn't touching not one drop alcohol, not even rubbing alcohol, homie. I wasn't even fucking with it. You know what I'm saying? I said it fucked up them white people so bad, homie. I don't know why black people fucking with it. You know what I'm saying? So I just never touched it. But you know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of correcting yourself. You're going to get punished for it. Not from other people, homie. Sometimes just by the world. You know what I'm saying? Just like I said, think of it like a fat person. If a fat person has to lose weight, that's a lot of effort. But it wasn't a lot of effort to keep eating bullshit. You understand what I'm saying? For you to get out of shape, to not, you used to be a strong dude, now you look like a big fat, you know, there's strength under the fat, but nobody thinks you're that strong anymore. And now to do the work, you got to come back out of it. A crack addict got to rid himself of crack. A heroin addict got to rid himself of heroin. A weed addict got to rid himself of weed. You dig what I'm saying? All for the sake of doing things that will be better for themselves. Even eating better is a correction, is a discipline, is a struggle for a lot of cats. That's why I want you to know, man, there's a price for it. Not to bring you down, but to bring you up, because you might be going through some shit right now. And you think that, you know what I'm saying, you on the right track and cats ain't really acknowledging it, and it don't look like a sunny day. I'm with you. I've been through that shit. Keep listening to the Rise and Grind, homie. I try not to give you none of that up with hope shit. I ain't trying to give you none of that high stuff. I'm trying to give you the real shit so we can build with it, homie. You know what I'm saying? We trying to get to the top. But the thing I want you to know, man, is that you should be happy when you see it coming. Because when you see it coming, that means the end is almost near. And today, for this podcast, I just went through some shit that I just sat back and said, you know what, man, it's a good time to talk about this shit. Because it takes a certain amount of discipline not to punch a motherfucker through a wall. And I had to do that shit today. You know what I'm saying? It takes a certain amount of discipline not to cause myself my own problems when dealing with people. You know what I'm saying? But you have to correct yourself, and there's a cost to correction. You know what I'm saying? This ain't one of those Scantron tests where you bubble and the shit don't show up no more. This is one of those things, man, where you cut, you know what I'm saying? You cut with the scissors, you cut a design, that shit, you just got to throw the whole shit away. And then you got to get a new piece of paper and start all over. That's what we talking about here. So when you see it coming, homie, or you going through it, just hunker down and deal with it. Don't try to find the good in shit. Sometimes it's just, it is what it is, homie. It's a rainy day. It ain't going to be a good day. Just deal with it and know that you're going to get to the end of it. Next time, partner.